What it do? It's DOA niggas back with another episode of putting shit together. Today, man, it's a special day, a special episode. I told y'all, League of Shadows, man, I had something in the works that was big. Um, and I'm here today to announce that I have gotten my gun rights reinstated, man. Got the paperwork right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I got that shit reinstated. Man, I lost my gun rights, man. I ain't had my gun rights for shit like a fucking decade, bruh. And it's a long story, but essentially I'm gonna let y'all know, man. Like I told y'all in some other videos, I've been on the watch list, bruh. I've been on the watch list, and the thing is, when you're an intelligent black man who don't capitulate to the bullshit, who's not gonna be ignorant and follow ignorant shit, like letting motherfuckers hijack the culture, like believing in voting and yeah, we gonna vote and change shit. Like when you a nigga like me, man, they put you on the list. We can thank Obama for that list, man. The domestic terrorist list. That's the list they put niggas on who's too smart for their own good, so to speak. And that was me. That was me. So they had me on that list, man. They cooked up some cockamamie shit to basically take my gun rights away. For years, though, from like 2007 all the way up to like 2015 when I lost my gun rights, they have been trying to take them bitches for a fucking decade before they got them, man. Um, Trying to get nigga hooked with felony cases, and I helped them out a little bit at certain points in time where I told y'all I was moving some shit, and kind of put myself in a position to lose my gun rights. But yeah, man, they was on a hunt for my motherfucking gun rights for the longest, man, right? But how they ended up taking them was some cockamamie shit. Um, it was unjustified, and at the time I wasn't doing none of the stuff that I was doing before, like moving no tree or nothing like that. So they got me on some bullshit, but ended up hitting me with a misdemeanor charge. But little did I know this particular type of misdemeanor made me have to give up my gun rights, because they basically raided my they raided the house that I was living in at the time. And the reason why they raided it was some bullshit. They claimed I stole some shit that I didn't steal. So they got a warrant to raid my shit based on them alleging that I stole something that, come to find out, I never stole that shit, right? So they come raid my house. They end up, I had a lot of guns. I always got a lot of guns. And I'm going to tell y'all why y'all need to make sure y'all stay with y'all straps, bruh. The Second Amendment, man, y'all got to be clear about that Second Amendment. It specifically says that we need to form militias that can basically compete with our own military. So in the event that we get in a situation where our government becomes tyrannical, like we have been for a long time now, we're supposed to have these militias that can basically go to war with our own army if need be. But there's also some other steps in there, like we need to basically have armed protests at our state buildings and our federal buildings to let the government know that we do not agree with their tyrannical behavior. So really, owning guns is a duty. It's not really a choice or a freedom. It's not really as leisure as a lot of people would see it as. Like, it's our duty to own these straps because we need to be able to stop them when shit gets out of hand. So, you know, basically back to it, they got my guns. They got several guns when they raided my shit. And one of them happened to be a shotgun that they claimed was sawed off below the legal limit. Well, I bought the gun the way that it was. I didn't saw it off or nothing like that. And to be honest, it wasn't very short. So it didn't alert me to be like, nah, I probably don't need to fuck with this. Cause it looked like it's too short. You know what I'm saying? And they never proved to me that it was shorter than it was supposed to be. But this is what they alleged. You know what I'm saying? They also had tried to accuse me of stealing a couple of guns that they took, but I didn't do that either. And they weren't able to prove that. But see, by being a misdemeanor, and it's a long story, but like, I wasn't living in Arizona at the time, but Arizona is who filed these charges against me. So I was having to fly back and forth across the country trying to fight this case, and I had a new business that I was running. So it was just real inconvenient. And I think they knew that, and that was the reason for their timing, for waiting for me to move away before they filed this case. So I ended up, you know what I'm saying, ignorantly, I pled out. But I really wanted to take it to trial, to be honest, because I knew that they had no way to prove that I, one, sawed it off, or two, knew that it was shorter than it was supposed to be. But, you know, just situationally, I just had my son and all of this, so I'm flying back and forth with a baby and trying to fight this case and all of that, and it was just a lot for me. So when I heard misdemeanor, I could plead to this misdemeanor, I was like, cool, because, you know, I at least still have my gun rights, because my gun rights was very important to me. I've been a hunter since I was like 5-6 years old. I've been hunting with my pops and you know, friends of the family and everything from that point. So I always been around guns. I always been a carrier of guns and a responsible user of firearms. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard misdemeanor, I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, at least I get to keep my fucking gun rights. But little did I know I was gonna lose them because of the nature of the charge. So, you know, I lost them. But basically, I'm just telling y'all, if it's people out there that have had similar interactions where you lost your gun rights, man, now is the time to go file and try to restore those gun rights. And what I had to do, because my case was through Arizona, was through the Superior Court of Arizona in Maricopa County. So I went to Arizona Superior Court website, right? And you know, go to the pull down tab or whatever, and you can go to file a petition. And under that, they had a petition to restore your gun rights. So I went through that process. I did not have a lawyer to do that to help me, but it was kind of easy, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of time had passed from the time that I had lost my gun rights. So, you know, I hadn't gotten any other trouble or anything like that. So I felt like they pretty much had to restore them. I'm sure they didn't want to, because they know what I was gonna do when I got them, and then not to harm nobody, but I'm gonna be an advocate for people to own guns, and I also train people on how to use guns, and they didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? But all that aside, man, like I said, if you've lost yours, I would go, you know, and research within the state that your case is under, and see how you can file a petition to restore those gun rights. And when you do, make sure you read those instructions closely and do everything they tell you to do, because the first time I applied, mine was rejected, and it was simply because I included the instructions in the submission of my paperwork. And it says on the instructions not to include these pages with your filing of your paperwork. And I made a misstep and did that, so my stuff got kicked out. But I reapplied and followed their instructions to the letter, and I was able to be successful in that. But with that, we gonna start doing a little bit different content now here on my channel on putting shit together, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, y'all need to go out. If you're not a firearm owner, you need to go and get you a firearm. And I don't care how you feel about firearms. And some people like, man, I just am uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable around firearms, you need to get you some training. You need to get you some training, and you need to become confident with firearms. You know what I'm saying? The usage of them, the storage of them, all of the things that go along with being safe with a firearm. Because most people are in fear of firearms because they're not knowledgeable about how firearms work. You know what I'm saying? So proper firearm safety is a must. And if you need training, man, seek myself out or somebody local to you. If you need some hands-on training, man, I hope my page get big enough to where I can start moving around and coming to people and give them training on firearms, because this is something that's near and dear to my heart. But we also need to do like the Second Amendment says, and we need to link up with each other, and we need to be owners of firearms, and we need to make sure that we're tight with a group, a militia as they call it, so that, you know what I'm saying, we can be in control of our rights, our government, and make sure that the shit is getting ran like we want it to be ran. And I'm not saying on no violent shit. That's not what I don't advocate for violence. But the Constitution itself tells you to do this. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't my word. This ain't don't promote violence. Nah, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying read the motherfucking Constitution and do what it says, because that is the way that our government is supposed to be operating, is off of those bylaws. So if you want to make any kind of change, I think you need to go by the book, and the book is the Constitution. So I promote all of the League of Shadows members to definitely be gun owners.